What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Hello and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive and I'm joined as ever by my co-host Ricky. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I'm alright, yourself?
I'm sounding a hell of a lot better than your hay fever ridden self.
Yep. Fucking hate hay fever. It's getting worse and worse.
It'll be because of the metre high grass that's been cut, that's why it'll be so bad. So it's a special occasion for us on the podcast tonight, Ricky.
Is it?
We've got someone returning to the roster after a multi-year hiatus. Baz D, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing very well, guys. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while, but a lot of change in that time, I suppose. In nearly 2 years, is it? Is it longer than 2 years?
Roughly.
Round about.
It's the OG
the wrestling
crew.
world has changed.
We need to get JR back for the OG crew. So, we had said last week on the show that we're going to take things a bit less seriously. Obviously, basically a day or two later after the last week's podcast came out, that kind of went out the window as far as content for this week's concerned. The whole speaking out movement that's on Twitter, a lot of wrestlers predominantly, like alarmingly predominantly in the UK wrestling scene, a lot of them to do with NXT UK as well, have been outed for various forms of abuse, whether it's grooming online via Snapchat, Facebook, inappropriate actions at after parties, you name it, assault, rape. A lot of shit has hit the fan over the last few days, and don't really know what to say about it. Has anyone got any sort of thoughts? It's just bonkersly bad.
Alarmingly, a lot of them are associated with one company, and that one company just so happens to be on our doorstep. I think we've long said that there'll be no Joe Coffey slander. Like, I think if you ask people who's their favourite wrestler, most people are going to say it's Joe Coffey.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear things like what he's apparently done, and his silence is fucking deafening at this moment in time. Well, a certain case he just kind of hit you a harder. And like you says, like the vary from just people being general kind of sick pests to full on rape allegations to grooming, just to people being paedophiles. Quite shocking and disturbing, and quite frankly, like, Mark Dallas is a fucking cunt. I'm sorry, right? This is a guy who's the owner of ICW, and by all accounts, by what people are saying, he is watching this happen and letting it happen, but not only watching it happen, he seemingly seems to be involved in it as well.
Well, it's one of those ones, it's not just on our doorstep, because you've got the likes of Progress, Rev Pro, there's all up and down the country, there's bad...
I was just meaning like several like higher profile guys, or like people that we really like, are from the company that's on our doorstep.
And Barry, you had actually said to me last night it might be a bit dodgy to just start flinging names about the place, and I do get that. I see where you're coming from, but one thing we can say as a fact is that ICW have been very, very quiet with all this going on, and a lot of the people that have come through ICW's doors have been implicated, and there's hardly any statements being made. There's a blanket statement about trainers or mentors or mental health first aiders coming in, but their silence, as Ricky said, is deafening.
Practice what you preach.
Yep.
Sorry, Barry.
It's never a company I've had any sort of affiliation or bothered with, to be honest with you. I don't know why, even though, because, as you said, it was on our doorstep and stuff, but I just never really gouged an interest in it at all. Not that it makes it any better than to do anything like that, you know, but at the same time I'm quite surprised. This sounds a bit strange, but it's probably the first time that something like this has come out in a big company like this. The wrestling industry just seems like something that you might have heard about before now, so God knows how long this sort of stuff has been going on. I know there was a couple of daft rumours about Vince, but I'm sure he's had plenty of things flung his way in the past as well. During the sort of whole diva time, he was up to no good then as well, but that's Vince McMahon for you. But no, I've never been a huge fan of ICW anyway, but still terrible for that to go down. And as you said, it's not just ICW anyway, so the fact it's happening in a sport that we all love is disgraceful, to be honest with you.
I think say that it's nothing like this has come out in the past to this scale. And I think for me, like it says, I completely agree that we've just got to be careful that we don't start like trial by social media kind of thing, and as soon as someone's accused of something, we automatically assume they've done it, because there's been countless times where that's been proven wrong. Like there was a Trent Seven story floating around as well, and it's like where apparently girls were underage and Trent was buying them drinks, but it turns out they were actually over the age of 16, but not, so they must have been 16 or 17. So yes, technically over the legal age over here to have sex, but not old enough to drink. So the story goes, he stopped buying them alcohol and says when he found out their age, and then some woman came in to prevent them from having sex, and she had sex with Trent and got him that drunk that she had sex with him. And it was weird because it turns out like the girls then came out and says, no, we were actively trying to hook up with him as well. So it's not like we were being like led astray or he was trying to groom us or anything. So like I said, there's different things. And the Tyler Bates story to me as well, I think we need to remember Tyler Bates like 23, 24. And I talked about it from a couple of years ago. So like this is a guy who's single and basically just wants to shag and fuck in it's moving. So I think his thing was that maybe someone was in a relationship and was trying to hook up with her. But I mean, if we're going to like put someone up and like put and like hang them based on that, like I think half the population out there have probably done stupid shit like that. And like I said, some people have come out and denied it. Like Jordan Devlin came out with a really strong statement. And I don't know if it's just because it's Matt Riddle as well. And I don't know if it's just because Jordan Devlin's one of my favourites, where I'm like, I kind of believe that maybe he didn't do it, or maybe, I don't know. Because I think if you would look at it, Session Moth and Jordan Devlin seem to be really, really close. And she liked and retweeted his denial. And I'm like, do you know what? Like you have come out with stories saying people have done stuff to you, and this is your close friend, and I feel like, well, maybe there is a bit of truth to what he's saying, but like I said, I think we do need to be wary where like we now just decide everyone who's got stories out about them is guilty. We kind of need to see how it plays out, but I think at the same time we can't turn around and say about the alleged victims that you're lying. Like, you know, that's just not the way it works, because I think like if I come out to you two and be like, look, I hooked up with this girl and she's dead easy, blah blah blah, and we've done this and that, blah blah blah, like you would turn around and be like, oh, brilliant, excellent. But if that same girl come out and say something like, by the way, Ricky done this and done this to me, you would be like, no, I don't think he did, kind of thing. So I think there's still that perception that that some women are easy, and if a guy hooks up with women, it's great. But if it's the other way around, and a woman says something about a guy negatively, like, we're kind of quick to be like, no, you're lying. But I think no matter what, like, and I know I'm going on a bit, but I think there's a lot of truth to it, because a lot of different people are coming out and saying a lot of different things, and like I said, a lot of the people who have been accused have come out and admitted to some of it.
Why did that page get shut down on Twitter then?
But I saw a couple of different things. I saw that Exposed Wrestling. I saw
that was it. That one, right?
I saw that someone saying, well, maybe they're just posting up a lot of bullshit at times, but at the same time, someone did say that, I don't know if it was Police Scotland or if it was West Yorkshire West Yorkshire Police, basically saying that, look, if you continue spreading stuff online and talking about these cases and releasing more information of them, like, we can't do anything, and you've got to stop talking about them just like a normal case. But I don't know.
What I find quite sickening is, yes, by law of averages, there is a chance that some of these aren't real. And like you said, Session Moth liked Jordan Devlin's statement of innocence, and I can't remember who it was. Someone had tweeted, "This has to stop, we need to do better." And I saw for a split second, I'm pretty sure that Wolfgang had liked it, and he's been implicated in something that sounds just basically flat out paedophilia, with taking pictures at school gates and stuff like that. Again, alleged. So it's just...
And no denial.
No denial, no nothing.
I know some people be like, well, maybe their lawyers are telling them to be quiet. Might be true, but I don't know. Like, the silence, like I said, is definite at this moment in time. But sorry, on you go.
Because Progress, they've made an arse of it on Twitter at the start of this all, but they are actively giving updates on their staff turnover and new roles that have been made. ICW have done a couple of tweets. And then 3 or 4 of their wrestlers in that kid fight made an absolute arse of himself, saying, he who without sin cast the first stone, or something like that. It's like, it would appear.
And then he came out with a statement and basically tried to excuse his behaviour by saying it was mental health. And again, I think that's another touchy subject. Like, at the end of the day, like, especially given like how we've all kind of been locked up in our houses for so long, that mental health is a big thing.
Oh yes. And
I don't know, like, maybe it's just because he's been accused of this that we're now going to be like, well, you're using mental health as an excuse. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know, but his statement was a fucking joke as well. Travis Banks' statement as well, like, I'm sorry, right, you have literally just You were your own judge, jury and executioner with that statement alone. That statement alone convicts Travis Banks. Like, the police should be acting on that now. Because yes, Millie McKenzie was over the age of 16. What was she, 17? But if you go on to gov.uk, you will see that someone who is in a position of power over someone who is younger than 18, it is classed as basically, I don't know if it was grooming or it's basically classed as like having sex or relationships with a minor. So he was, so you're talking about like teachers and stuff, so he was technically a teacher or like her boss or her trainer, etc. So he falls under that, and he openly admits having a relationship with her while she was 17. Well, mate, when she was 17, you were her trainer and you held a position of power over her. So therefore, you have just openly admitted, I was having a sexual relationship with someone who is classed as a minor. Or, like I said, I don't know if it should be classed as a minor or should be classed as a vulnerable victim. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it is against the law and illegal what he done. Now, if he was a random 31-year-old or 32 or whatever he was at the time and she was 17, it's kind of creepy and disgusting. You'd be like, mate, you know, she's half your age. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't be illegal. Mm-hmm. But what he done was illegal. And that's fact.
Barry's had to step away for a second there, but I'll jump in. See, the legality side of things. Okay, there is this thing about age of consent in the UK, and you've just alluded to the position of trust. But see, at the end of the day, I don't know if this is just me, right? See if I'm in my mid-20s and I've got 15, 16, 17-year-old girls that are training, or boys. There's been a few guys that have had... I saw recently as well, actually, that Keith Lee had possibly been sort of roofied.
Yes, I read that not long, a couple of hours ago.
At the end of the day, you can talk about legalities, you can talk about positions of trust, but these are young people that are being preyed upon.
Yep.
And a lot of these people, so the ones that we can comfortably talk about are those that have come out and admitted things, or they've been flat out sacked, like the likes of Jack Gallagher, which was done. See, in comparison to Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, Trent Seven, all these guys, Jack Gallagher was dealt with swiftly.
The Jack Gallagher one, I don't want to say it like, you know, it had ulterior motive, but to me it was just, it probably screamed off, well, you've given us an excuse to get rid of you, kind of thing. We don't really need you. We didn't really want you or need you anyway, so here we go, get rid of you.
Maybe.
The Matt Riddle one, he came out straight away denying it. Velveteen Dream, now this is like the second or third time, like the last 6 or 7 months it's come out.
Mm-hmm. That's worrying.
You know, like, it's horrifying, some of the stuff that he was saying. Well, again, allegedly, I say allegedly, we saw the screenshots and stuff. Just fucking horrifying. The Trent Seven story that's come out as well in the last few hours, that basically he had sex, or, well, can't say sex, but apparently raped someone who was basically paralytically drunk, incapable of saying yes or no. I hope that's not true, because he is one of our favourites.
Mm-hmm. I know that
he also came out very early on though and made a very short and simple and effective statement. Like, I deny everything that's been said about me, and I will be looking to press charges for assassination of character or something, and then signed it off with his actual real name. So he kept it short and simple.
Mm-hmm. See,
I think. Sorry, you go.
One of the things that bothers me, okay, these are wrestling characters, but a lot of them, especially in the indie scene, are portraying what we believe with their real selves, and these people are idolised based on false pretenses. You've got Joey Ryan. Everyone thinks he's just in it for the shits and giggles, but he's up to no good in a bad way. And then you've got the likes of David Starr. This guy.
Oh, we will talk about David Starr shortly.
Right, okay, we'll talk about him shortly then.
Oh, yes.
The people like Joey Ryan, it's just, these people have been idolised, false pretenses, and there's a lot. I know Kyle from Outsider's Edge, he's a big fan of Joey Ryan, and he's like devastated that he could be in a position of trust and just abuse it in such a fashion. There's so many of them to name that, like, there's probably a few that are obvious that we've missed, and it's not a case of favouritism. It's not a case of I'm not going to speak about such and such because they're my faves, because, you know, we've basically, I mean, I'm happy to say, severing ties with ICW based purely on their lack of action, public action.
Listen, sorry to cut you off, you continue. Listen, you don't need to sever your ties with ICW, because ICW could be fucked after this.
Yeah, NXT UK could be fucked after this. And if I don't see WWE take appropriate action, I feel as if they are, at least legally, because Jack Gallagher's gone, Matt Riddle has got an ongoing court case. There's still a few names, and like, this UK side of things is far too dodgy. There's far too many. That Ligero seems like a monster. He is just a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And he, like I says, I think he's deleted his Twitter, and a lot of people Kaylee Ray went after him on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Uh-huh. Amir Jordan as well, where he was basically like, you forced me to run for 4 hours on the beach when I was fasting. You know, a lot of people came after him. I think, I want to say Paige, or so, I don't know if it was Paige, but certainly a few people came after him. Talking about like we says, talking about NXT UK, for instance, like I says, the only one out of Gallus I've not heard of anything about is Mark Coffey. He has also been very quiet.
But I've not heard allegations about him, no.
That's fair enough.
But like I said, oh man, look, we are massive. I've touched on it. We are massive Joe Coffey marks.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like, see if this is true. like you say, you could be your severed ties with ICW. If this is true and appropriate action isn't taken, there's a good chance the only wrestling I watch could be, shout out to Keeping It Strong Style, could be a New Japan product. Because, like, yes, well done for Jack Gallagher. And I think we need to always remind ourselves, and I want to touch on Sammy Guevara as well, but we need to remind ourselves that, look, I can't accuse Clive of something and then demand that his wife leaves him or the police immediately arrest him and convict him based on what I say. Like, we have to let it play out. We have to see what information comes out and what is true and what isn't true. But do you really trust a lot of these companies to turn around and do like a proper investigation and find out what's actually happened? Because in my mind, the way I'm looking at it right now, Mark Dallas, yes, went off Twitter before it all came out, was off Facebook, etc., right? But it's simple enough for you to reactivate it and put out your own tweet. Like, a tweet or a statement from the ICW owner is more powerful than a statement released by ICW Twitter account.
Yeah, I think it's one of the referees that runs it.
Yep. And the thing is, like, to me, in my mind, I'm just thinking, like, some of yous are keeping quiet because yous are hoping it'll blow over so yous can worm your way back out. If we don't talk about it and we don't address it, people will forget about it.
It's the lack of response and lack of action. When some of your, like, figureheads ICW over the years, Good Fight, Mikey Whiplash.
Oh, Whiplash, forgot about him.
Oh, he sounds like a fucking nut job. Which was personally pretty very disappointing because I've sort of admired him from afar for a number of different reasons, not just his wrestling character. I've really enjoyed him, but it sounds like he's just an animal, but an animal, just like a calculating, conniving piece of shit.
And he runs like an all women's promotion based up here.
Yeah, fierce females.
Relieved himself of all duties there. So he's owned up to some of the stuff he's been accused of. Now, I can't remember if I saw it or not, but did one of the Kings of Catch, did something come out about them?
Lewis Girvin, who's come out and admitted as such that he would emotionally manipulate girlfriends and saying that he's been he's living with his ex who is abusive and he can't leave her because she'll kill herself, and apparently he was saying this to many other different girls at the same time. And one of the common things that I've seen, pretty sure Jimmy Havoc falls into this category as well, they manipulate these women.
Yep.
And they say, if you break up with me or if you say something, I'm going to harm myself. That seems to be a common factor. Another common factor is their age. It's like
young women, man.
It just seems to be so ingrown and institutionalised within the whole of the scene. It's like, what is wrong with these folk that they think it's all right to do these after parties and get the Snapchat details of someone and just...
And that's what we're saying, folks. Now, it is not over here anyway, right? It is not illegal for me or Clive to have sexual relationships with someone who's 16 years old.
But it's fucking wrong.
It is so morally wrong. Like, I couldn't look at a 16-year-old and be like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna get her. Like no, like, because she's half our age. And on top of that, like, I don't care what people say about, oh, well, someone's mature for their age and all. It's a child. She's still a child.
Mm-hmm.
Still a child. You can't, see, at the end of the day, if you can't legally buy alcohol, to me, you're still a child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even at the age of 32, I still couldn't go near like an 18-year-old. I would feel wrong about that. But at least they're able to drive, they're able to go out and buy their alcohol, they can go to clubs.
It's still really questionable though.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I think, see, more than anything, it's what you say, is it's people in a position of power abusing that power. It's not even like, because like I say, when at the end of the day, if somebody's 16, you can't touch them unless it's a Travis Banks case. Like, the law can't do a single thing about it. But what have you done to this innocent 16-year-old before it? How are you speaking to her? What have you been implying? What do you continue after them? What are you currently doing to them? Because like you say, like a lot of people, it doesn't matter about age, but especially when you factor in age, see someone like look. I'm going to use Tyler Bate as an example, right? Because I think he's a good-looking guy. Now, you try to tell me if Tyler Bate doesn't go up to like some starstruck 16-year-old or 15-year-old wrestling fan, and suddenly he or she might be be like, oh, I don't care, Tyler Bate's showing an interest in me, that it doesn't matter, like, I'm just going to throw myself at him or whatever. So, what are these people doing to these innocent kids? I think, like, for me, I think that it's up and down in the UK, and obviously some cases in America as well. But we're looking at about 6 or 7 people in ICW, and that's just the people that have come out, and like people who have done stuff like this. We don't know what the hell goes on backstage.
There's been rumours that people have been talked down out of making statements, and Veronica Lestrange, the sort of interviewer, one of the interviewers backstage, she said she was going to make a statement. She just wasn't ready, and that was on Friday night. She still hasn't. I checked that earlier on the day. She's been very quiet as well. And like, there's something stinks at ICW with all this. Just the silence. Killian Dane's been implicated. Not implicated.
Has he?
Not implicated, but he was training a lot of the people that had fingers pointed at them, and apparently he just turned a blind eye.
Right. Now, like I says, I think, and you see people say some stupid shit on Twitter, because Twitter's full of, like, 99% of people on Twitter are idiots anyway. But you've got, like, people, like, so if Killian Dane was turning a blind eye to it, he's at fault as well. But if Killian Dane, Mark Dallas himself, and I'm jumping about, because his allegations have been put out Dallas. But if those allegations come out, I would hold Dallas as equally as responsible as every person that's committed these crimes, because I'd be like, look, that's your shit, that's your empire, and you're letting that stuff happen.
I know. So we've got Barry back, and are you familiar with before this all went down, Barry? Are you familiar with David Starr?
David Starr rings a bell. Remind me.
He's a guy who was big in the independents, and he was always Irish OTT wrestling and stuff like that. He was a big deal in the UK indie scene, and he was all about fuck the system, and he was trying to unionise wrestling, we the independent and all that stuff. But Ricky wanted to hold off and talk about David Starr. So where have you got on? Are you still there, Ricky?
Yep.
Right.
Look, I only wanted, it's not so much I want to go into detail about him, right? But fuck David Starr. Honestly, David Starr, the wrestler, phenomenal. David Starr versus Jordan Devlin from last year could well have been the match of the year, right? It was that damn fucking good. But the promo itself was just every bit as good as a match, right? But in the promo, Jordan Devlin says, ask David Starr why he's so bitter, and ask him how many WWE tryouts he's had. Right? So it stems from that shit, that this whole gimmick he created was because no big company wanted him. But and he turns around and says the reason why we the independents, why I'm trying to save the indies, as he like to say, and unionise. I think Rand says it was perfect. It wasn't because you were upset about the big machine churning out millions and billions and billions of pounds and blah 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 blah. It was the fact that you want to unionise and be as strong as you could, so none of these allegations can see the light of day. On top of that, the video that he put out, you're a fucking scumbag. I'm so happy he's been caught, because that guy is a fucking bellend.
One of these exes had put up a video. I'm trying to remember this one. I can't really remember all of it, but he would put up a video.
Basically hooring her and her pals out saying, oh, well, I want this off you can suck me off and you can suck him off, bring these people, bring that. And it's like, mate, you're just a wank. And seeing that video, mate, your beard is a fucking riot and your hair was a disaster. I'm just putting it out there.
And it all fell apart. I mean, obviously it had fallen apart for him before that video, but this guy is all about we the people and all that stuff. And then he's talking about just basically getting all the sluts for a wet lay. And then he calls one of his pals gay, drops the F-bomb. It's like, oh, you've just fucking made an absolute mockery of your movement, your own movement. It's a shambles.
See, and you know what? Like, see, half of these people, and I'm not saying this is any better, right? But these people are just so unintelligent that you can't even do it and say it around in your own group chat, for instance. Like, you know, like, but instead you're going out and saying it to the entire fucking world. Like if you're going to be a dick, right, and you're going to be an absolute whatever, at least do it in the privacy of your own home or the privacy around your pals where you know you're going to get away with it. But you're not even intelligent enough to be like, oh well, I'll put out a certain image to the wider public, but behind the scenes the people who really know me, they just know I'm a piece of shit, but I can act like a piece of shit around them, if you know what I mean.
What do you think? Where do we go next? Because I know a lot of these players.
Like,
not us. We'll move on to something shortly. But what do you do with this? I mean, there seems to be levels of punishment with WWE.
Yeah.
It's still a wee bit fishy.
I'll let Barry answer, but for me, I would say you find out what the truth is and take it from there. And the truth is something you might never ever get.
Which is very disappointing.
It is, but then I think you need to look and say to yourself, well, I've got two options. I'm loyal to my wrestler, or I look at some of the evidence that I do have. I look at some of these screenshots. I look at all these different accusations. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be like a police investigation as such, because you need like overwhelming evidence. Just look someone in the eye and be like, you didn't pass the eyeball test. Like, there's something shifty about you that I didn't quite trust, and you didn't quite tell me the full truth. You're gone. Like the Enzo thing. Like, I don't know if that, I can't remember if that ever got proven or whatever, right? But basically, it was because he lied to WWE about it all, and they were like, do you know what? Fuck off. We're fed up with you anyway. You're gone. And he, I can't remember if it was just a case of there just wasn't enough evidence. But let's just say he definitely didn't do it. Well, WWE don't care because you lie continuously about it. So I think you look the man in the eye if you can't get a definitive conclusion, and you just look at yourself and you make a decision saying that no, you didn't quite pass the eyeball test.
Would you fling the book at, for instance, Velveteen Dream? Because that's all just went very, very quiet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if there's not enough evidence to do federal investigations, then there's definitely need to be some sort of internal investigation if there's enough evidence there, I would say. And then obviously, yeah, if he's proven guilty, then get rid of him. It's simple as that. Strip the titles, strip his career. He shouldn't be mentioned again if it's as serious as that, in my opinion. It's just, what else can you do? I mean, WWE have got a great habit of just taking a name and forgetting all about them. See Roman Reigns, for that matter, for now. And there's been several wrestlers in the past they've done it with, so they would have no second thoughts of doing it to Velveteen Dream. But I would say if the evidence is there and they're proven guilty, get rid of them and strip them of the titles as well. So any titles these people have won doesn't exist. Asterisks beside it.
The title doesn't exist either? Just that's never...
That's a bit harsh on the title, you know, but the title shouldn't be mentioned in the same sentence as these pervy men.
WWE...
The dream ones, what I say is that's now the second or third time in the last 6-7 months. And it's gone... I don't want to say it's gone quiet, because it's not like WWE come out and made individual statements about individual people. So I say we just kind of need to wait and see. It'll be interesting. I think, like I say, a lot of people will stop watching, I think, or will try to distance themselves from WWE or wrestling in general if nothing happens, if nothing gets done about it.
I think the independent scene's been hammered. It just so happens that it falls in a time when there's no live shows and stuff like that, but I imagine quite a few will not make it past the coronavirus easing of restrictions.
What companies you mean?
Aye.
Some companies want to see about it.
Speaking of the coronavirus, did you see, this was just tweeted out not that long ago, Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned multiple people in WWE who have been at the Performance Centre tested positive for COVID-19 this week, including in-ring talent.
Oh,
yep.
Here we go.
So
here we go.
No, I've never seen that actually. No, it's dreadful news.
Very new. So, does anyone know how long it takes to test? I mean, to get the results after a test? Has any of you guys been tested?
Normally over here they said 72 hours.
That's right.
But
two of Kirsty's friends, well, they're both, one's in NHS, one's in the police. Both of them are tested. So that's right, 72 hours. I'm sure it was. Yeah.
But we're also normal people, so you would assume some of these big companies can get results back a hell of a lot quicker than we would get our results. That's just
I think footballers and that have been told. I think it seems to me as if they're getting told sort of there and then sort of thing, is it not?
So it could be like, so who knows? But that, I mean, it was always going to happen. I think it was always going to happen.
It's the fact that some of them, the article hints at people got tested and then just went to do their match for the tapings.
Right, I saw that tweet and it was from that Tom Collihu or whatever you say his name is. And shout out to Rich, because Rich called it. He was like, no, this Rich didn't actually say this word for word, but he was like, this fucking idiot's just basically not understanding the article. And sorry, Rich, but I'm going to say, yeah, that fucking idiot didn't understand the article, right? So Rich worded it slightly more PG and nicer than that.
This has nothing to do with your previous run-in with said journalist.
Oh, he's fucking clown journalist. What a clown. Like you said, it was always going to happen. Like, you can put as much testing and be as precautious as you can possibly be, but the chances are that it was going to happen anyway. Like, you know, so like I said, you can be as careful as you can be, but you know, it's like inevitable. People within the company were going to get it.
It's just, I mean, Florida and America in general, they opened everything up far too quickly. And that madman Trump saying,
this
stop
is a
testing.
Country led. Yes, this is a fucking country. This is a country led by an idiot that says we're testing so much, and that's why we're getting all these new cases. Now, so I'm telling them, slow down the testing. If we don't test as much, we won't get as many new cases. And you're like,
what's wrong with him?
Right, okay.
And he also mentioned about swallowing bleach at one point. That might think bleach might help it.
Fucking idiot. Absolute idiot.
WWE Hall of Famer Donnie Trump there, ladies and gents.
But it was always
so I think. Did you see the Sammy Guevara YouTube video? I think it was a couple of minutes long where he was apologising to Sasha.
I did not know.
No.
See, I think AEW, they handled that pretty perfectly. I think what he said was horrific as well.
Oh, yeah,
like,
was brutal.
I don't give a shit like what age you are, right? You can't be like I said, so many people say you can't be 22-year-old and be classed a kid, but yet these 16-year-olds are not kids and they're lying, etc. Right? But for him to turn around and say what he said about Sasha, right? But I think the big thing is that Sasha, we spoke to each other privately and done it publicly for because a lot of people need to see that. That she forgives him, and if the person who's been wronged, if they can forgive the person that's done it, then we should be able to. That says, I think what's important now is that, well, are you changing? Are you now still going to be like a little piece of shit? Or are you going to learn from it? Because I think at the end of the day, like, a lot of people out there do deserve a second chance. So, actually, suspended without pay, and the pay that his pay was going to go to, like, I think, to some sort of charity. So, yeah, I think that was well handled, because I think if he didn't come out and denied it, or was saying, oh, you know, I'm just a young kid, it is what it is, then it should be done differently. But it seemed genuine, the apology.
I've not seen the video, but I did see that he was suspended indefinitely, and all money will be going to a women's shelter, I believe, something like that. So in terms of a sort of public PR thing, they did handle it, and I would say maybe better than WWE, because there's no sort of consistency with what WWE are doing.
But I think, right, and this is where I don't want to look like I'm just defending WWE, right, but outside of, now, we don't, obviously there's certain individuals that fall under the bracket. Travis Banks hasn't been yet released, so neither has Ligero. So I think those two are probably the only two so far that have come out and says, yeah, I did do it, that fall under the WWE bracket. But to the rest of them, you just can't do anything as yet. Like, Sammy Guevara just could not deny what he said because it was him. So, I don't know. Like, I think, like I said, you just need to kind of wait and see how it plays out, because just right now, a lot of it is just accusations.
Mm-hmm. It's a mess. It's a shambles.
It's a shambles.
So, we'll try and sort of perk up a bit, because that was some grim chat there for a while. Have you gentlemen caught up with all 5 episodes of the Last Ride docuseries on the award-winning WWE Network?
Just watched the last one last night, actually, yep.
The big man's away.
For the 20th time or something.
Why? We'll see about that.
Aye.
Because he said it himself, like, the match after Roman, he was like, I took my hat and gloves, and he was like, that was it. And he was like, that genuinely was it. So, and then he came back. And now, I know what they're saying, it's like, right, well, I went out on a high note, good note, I've done well, but now it's like, I've got no desire to wrestle again. But it's kind of been like that the entire time. Like, you might have a shit match, but you're like, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. And now, even himself, he's like, well, the last match was pretty decent, maybe I've got a couple more. I think he probably is done. I don't really know.
I think he is.
I think he probably is done for the in-ring, but the style of match he had against, ironically, AJ Styles, where they pre-recorded it and stuff, I think he might go down that route for a few other matches. But I mean, who would even get away with doing some Sting, maybe? But is he going to be tempted out for that kind of match? Maybe, actually, because it's done like a kind of film style thing. They can't really wrestle much in ring anymore. But other than that, it could be the ending. But I just like the way it was done, the whole thing, because the first few episodes you thought, oh, this is this guy telling you he doesn't know himself when he's going to retire, and then all of a sudden, as if he took a knock to the head in the last couple of episodes, and he was just like, this is it, I've got no desire now, I'm finishing up here. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the best piece of TV I've seen in a while, actually.
what I liked about it was it was obviously filmed over a good few years, which was actually kind of pretty cool. And I think, like I say, the best thing about it, and we spoke about it last week, Clive, was that he spoke about in episode 4, like when he was walking away with AJ, saying, that's a guy I would love to work with, like, you know, and that was like a year before the match took place, and I was like, that's actually pretty fucking cool, like, you know, that's, he says that, and then a year later that they are working together.
I quite like the sort of nostalgic bits as well. They're picking up something for the 90s and that as well. They'd obviously film back then you'd never seen before. I like stuff like that. Like, shows you there's a lot of probably WWE content you've never ever seen before that you eventually get released, you know, sort of backstage stuff. I like all that sort of stuff.
Showed quite a lot of stuff backstage from the Saudi shows, which we've not really seen. Carrying on with
a number of WrestleManias. Yep.
A lot of the gorilla positions as well that you've never seen before. That was good. You've never seen them bits.
It was a totally. We got it with the. I've actually, when my column drops tomorrow on WrestlingHeadlines.com, I've actually done a piece on Undertaker's retirement, so please head over to WrestlingHeadlines.com tomorrow for my latest article. Thank you. But I'm too busy putting myself over that I forgot what I was talking about. What was just said there?
The Undertaker. The whole how it was done, sort of backstage stuff, and
the fact that you're right, like it's as if he just took a knock on the head because probably the Goldberg bit, because that seemed to really shake him.
Oh, that's it. That's all that. No, I thought that
match was a disaster.
I mean, see, when you look back and Taker explains it, and you're actually thinking, do you know, I know Goldberg got a lot of fucking blame for that, but it was just a smashed head off the pillar. Like, that's an inch and he would have been fine. And Taker doesn't blame him for it. It was just a disaster. The fucking DX match was a disaster, though. That one where Kane's wig came off and Shawn Michaels looked like a guy that was in a cuckoo's nest, like a mess of a man.
See, that match was just shit, like really, really shit. The Goldberg Taker match I would watch again because it was just a train wreck. But I think there were two different types of like just shockingly bad matches. One was just terrible, and the other one you're like, I'm watching that just because it is so shockingly bad.
I think the Triple H Michaels one, tag team one, when Triple H got injured, remember, quite early on. I was quite surprised Michaels managed to last the pace in it. I thought he's maybe getting a match on him, actually. I remember thinking that myself. And then when I seen it in the documentary again, I felt embarrassed for the four of them, to be honest with you. But I didn't realise how actual bad it was. But
the mayor of a county. The mayor.
One of those ones you probably go back and watch it again.
I know. The mayor of a county got his wig taken off mid-match.
I forgot about that. I know, that's right. Till Undertaker mentioned it, that's shocking.
And then Undertaker, see the bit at the end where Undertaker blamed Kane, so that it was all his fault.
When they get backstage?
Aye. He's quite a funny man. My favourite bit was when they were doing a promo with Kane and Undertaker said, well, we've got 3 words for you, go fuck yourself.
That was a promo for that match as well, I know.
Will you miss him? Or is now the right time? Because he was saying a lot. He said it on the Steve Austin show as well. It's up to him when he decides to finish up, but there's only so much he can do. There's not so many left. He's went out on a high in a limited, sort of actively limited match, but it was still a sort of really good, memorable one. There's not much else he can do, and as he said, there's COVID, there's the Kobe Bryant death shook him, and obviously that revelation that his brother had died the day before filming.
That's right.
It's like, fuck's sake, man. And he's walking about a graveyard doing all this stuff. So it was the outside world rather than the professional wrestling world that told him it's time for you to give it up. But I think it is time. And he's got his Twitter now, and he put up a message saying thank you and all that stuff. So maybe this is, I mean, I would happily, I think he can come back and do a promo now and again, or a wee choke slam to somebody on a homecoming episode and all that shit. But in terms of build for matches for something like that, just leave him be, let him go and fish and pray.
Yep. Let him be that kind of special non-wrestling role where he's like a special attraction. Yeah, I would agree. One of probably alongside Bret Hart, my 2 all-time favourites. Definitely going to miss him. But yeah, the time for him to retire, like I say, was a good few years ago. And I know, like, at the end of the day, like, we got the good AJ match out of it. So yeah, but it's the right time for him to go. But he will be missed. I say, I've always loved Taker.
Oh, aye.
I think it's one of the ones at the time you wanted him to stay as long as possible, but it's kind of gets selfish and end up from your point of view that it was just you wanted to see him in another match, but when he looks back on it, the last sort of 5 years his wrestling career would be probably embarrassed by, because apart from the AJ match and I actually didn't mind the Bray Wyatt match, if I'm honest with you, the one after he lost the streak, but it was alright. But the best he'd looked was actually the Extreme Rules, that tag match when he teamed up with Roman to fight Drew and Shane.
We got that epic Drew moment as well when you saw him like rising up behind Taker.
That's right. But no, it was definitely the right time. And in a few years, when he looks back in his career, I think the last few years, he just probably wished he did say at one point he wished he retired at the same time as Shawn Michaels, didn't he? So.
Aye. That Cena
program. Yeah, I
programme.
didn't say that in the documentary at one point.
The John Cena programme sickened me to my very core. Hated everything about that.
What was that?
The one where John Cena
story.
Aye, and it's quite
a programme about him now.
Here's the thing, right? Though. Cena isn't taking any bumps. Like, he took a couple against Bray Wyatt and took a few against Taker, so Cena's never wrestled another full-fledged match again. And no matter what you want to say, like, we got some awesome Cena promos building up to the Taker match, and then obviously we saw the epic sprint up the ramp from Cena.
I love
that.
I don't really care. I don't care what anyone says. Like, see the moment where you got Cena and Taker inside the ring at WrestleMania facing off each other. You're like, I know it wasn't a match just per se. It was a squash, but it was just like that moment alone. You're like, oh fuck, this is a big time. It's had like a big fight feel to it in my mind. Now, obviously, it didn't work out that way, but like I love those moments. Like sometimes even more so than the actual fight itself. Like, I remember Mayweather Pacquiao, how the camera panned out and you just saw them two in the ring. You saw the sign. You were like, oh my god, I believe this is happening now, kind of thing. Yeah, but I know Barry mentioned something in there, and I'm going to talk about it if you don't mind.
Go for it.
My favourite wrestler of the last decade is who?
Bray Wyatt.
He's fucking see that promo. I'm like, I've watched that like a 24 times already this week. I just fucking love Bray. You know what the problem is? Braun's going to beat Bray, and then at SummerSlam or whatever it might be, we're going to get Braun versus The Fiend, because The Fiend is going to be quote unquote the big boss. I wish it was the other way around though. I wish it was Bray Wyatt who was the class of the big boss. I absolutely love Bray. Don't care what anyone says. Go back and watch Bray's promos at NXT when he first came up to the quote unquote main roster. He was cutting promos like you've not seen in years, and you were like, this is fucking tremendous.
I'd quite like it if Bray just stayed as Bray.
So would I don't I love the Fiend stuff, but I want Bray, cult leader Bray back.
The Fiend stuff was shocking at the start. It was all sort of new, but it got old quickly for me.
Well, I think we said it best. We said it best, didn't we, when he first took on Seth Rollins? Like, how do you remember when we said it was like you got it all wrong? Like, the opening scene of every single film is the killer killing someone. It's not the killer being like dismantled.
The Fiend character, it's a bit like Undertaker's. It's very limited to what happened in the ring, and then it's just you get like the Seth Rollins one. I was like, how does he get beat here? Like, seriously, how is he ever going to get beat? So
Goldberg.
It's weird to. I don't know. I'm not bored with the Fiend story, but it's just limited to what can happen with it. So it took me by surprise, and I'm very happy about it though when he came back as Bray Wyatt, basically. So, but
I think, and I says at the time, I think the problem with the Fiend character, right, was he had to be booked like so dominantly, and that itself is a problem. But that went out the fucking window the moment you had Goldberg beat him. So, and then obviously you get the Braun, where, Braun beat obviously normal Bray or whatever, but like I said, there's an ongoing theme here. But I want cult leader Bray Wyatt back so badly. As soon as this podcast is finished, I'm going to put that promo back on again. There's just something about him. Aye.
I've not seen it yet, actually.
You just spoiled it for
is,
him.
No, I knew about that, but...
What are you drinking? Are you drinking Pepto-Bismol or something?
No, it looks like dilute juice.
It looks
That's summer fruits.
Aye, dilute juice. Robinson's.
Summer fruits. What's the rest of it then?
Vodka.
Summer fruits, summer vodka.
But I think with the Bray thing is that, like, I'm not talking about his in-ring ability, because his in-ring ability is like, okay, you know, it's fine, it's not great, it's just, okay. It was always a character, and I've always been the opposite. It's like, give me great wrestler over the great character, but Bray was just different.
The White Family first one in this team, it was brilliant.
Phenomenal. That stuff
remember
they had with the Shield
match? Right.
I remember that first face-off and fight they had. I remember it was Ambrose and Rollins in the ring with Harper and Rowan, and then Roman was grabbing hold of Bray Wyatt saying, "Get them off, get rid of them," and then Bray suddenly goes bang, and just all hell broke loose. That was amazing. Was that?
It didn't last as long as it should have. That story.
That triple threat match, I think, was that in Chicago? I want to say.
Who was that?
The Shield triple threat, and the Shield and Wyatt family, because nothing even fucking happened in the match. Like, they were all standing and they were all chanting already.
That's right.
Awesome. It
that was
the match started yet.
That was when CM Punk was on his hiatus. Remember when they thought he was going to appear that night, and then they had to keep the fans happy with the Shield Wyatt. That was the first time they ever fought. Actually, that's right. It happened again a few times after that, didn't it?
So Barry, I know I'm pestering you with questions, and you've
not been.
How's your pubic region doing these days?
It's a touchy subject. I've actually got my hands on it now, so literally.
Is it well kempt, well tidy,
well trimmed? Anyway.
And Clive, go on, tell them about this new product we've got.
Well, that's the thing. Have you heard of Manscaped at all?
Have heard of what?
Manscaped.
No.
Well, Manscaped, Barry, they have redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and just released a new and improved More of Lawns 3.0.
Oh. You could tell you've been up all right rehearsing that, Brian. You definitely didn't look as if you were reading that off something.
Well, it's just coming off the top of my head that their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce manscaping accidents, and millions of pairs of balls are about to be nick free thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. Basically, when you're looking after yourself downstairs, a bit of manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. You'll be glad to know.
That's good. Bet you took a lot of balls to review that, huh? So, what can you offer me?
Well, I can offer you the fact that the water-resistant technology allows you to groom in the shower.
Oh,
I can tell you as well that one of the coolest features, if you feel like having a shower in the dark, is that the LED light illuminates the grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 revs per minute motor with a, don't laugh now, quiet stroke technology. And let's not forget about the charging stand. Show you're more off loud and proud. Like, you know, show your pals or your friends and your mum and dad. Show off loud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. If you're listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Trim those balls of yours. Get your bollocks out and trim them. And if you want to get 20% off and free shipping, go to manscaped.com and use the code in the checkout area, Suplex, SUPLEX, caps lock, at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. They'll actually sort of say, thank you, Barry.
It sounds very interesting. Have you got one yourself?
It's being shipped as we speak.
How much the product?
If you just go to manscaped.com, you can find it.
$9.99. I'll have a look because it's something I've been looking for a while, to be honest with you. I've been using my beard trimmer, so what I do, I normally shave the hormones first and then I shave my beard after it, on my face. So. No, but that's a game changer, the fact you can do it in the shower.
In the shower and in the dark, because we all like a dark shower.
No, aye.
So, are you gentlemen ready for a wee quiz?
Aye, absolutely, yep.
Thankfully, someone remembered the quiz.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, since we've been talking about The Undertaker, I've got a wee surprise for you, and I put next to no effort into this at all. Shit, I've just done something to my Google Doc. It should come as no surprise that once again I have stolen some content from the What Culture website, and basically we're going to do a wee how well do you know the Undertaker quiz. Alright, so I will offer you 10 questions. We'll guess them right. Ricky, what's your buzzer?
As I spit in the faces of people who don't want to be cool.
And Barry?
It's been that long. I forgot, what was it? Do you remember?
Is it not? Was it not? It's me, it's DDP.
Oh, aye.
It's
BAZ or something, isn't it?
Aye, it's BAZ. Oh my word. Right. So I've stolen this from What Culture, I'm not going to lie. Number one. If you don't get these correct, if you both pass, I'll give you multiple choice, okay? Number one, the Undertaker Survivor Series debut
Can't hear you.
I lost you completely there.
Aye, so did I.
Can you hear
As soon as you started the question.
Exactly.
Can you hear me now?
Still can't.
You must be at it, surely. Well, folks, that's been the Rick and Clive Wrestling Show on the Social Suplex podcast. Can you both hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you like me now? Right, Undertaker's Survivor Series debut took place on which date? November 17th, November 20th, November 22nd, or November 27th? I know I shouldn't have done the multiple choice straight away, but I did. Sorry.
Give us the options again.
November 27th, 22nd, 20th, and 17th.
It's BAZ.
I'm going to figure this out in my head.
Alright.
Well, you got nobody. I didn't buzz in. It was you.
Sorry.
Go BAZ.
November 20th.
Incorrect.
Right.
I can remember it appeared in the last episode there, so I thought it came down at the box. It told you the date. Sure, it was
22nd.
Correct. Well done.
Well done. 1 point to Ricky.
How are you figuring that out anyway?
Because I did this quiz earlier and I've got the answers here.
No, I was talking to Ricky there.
I looked at my calendar and I was going to try and date track back, like go 20 years. But I just looked at the days. I looked at the dates on the Sunday, and the only date that they said was the 22nd. Now that doesn't mean anything, but I just chanced it.
Fair
enough. For anyone familiar with Countdown, you need to get Ricky on the numbers sums bit, because this guy's mental arithmetic is better than anything you can do, basically. Number two, what was the Undertaker initially billed as?
Sorry, what was
the Undertaker initially billed as? What was his original name?
Okay. It's BAZ.
Alright.
Was it not Undertaker? Kane?
Maybe you could kind of...
Oh, it was something like that, so it was.
I'll give you one more shot at it, Barry.
What, now?
Aye, because...
What, was it just Kane? I'll give you 2 more shots. No, because I genuinely thought that was it, so it's my bad.
I'm going to give you half a point. How's that?
Oh, that might help for the... You never know, it could come in handy at the end of the quiz.
It could. The answer is Kane the Undertaker.
Oh, Jesus. Fair enough. I know it didn't sound right when I said that anyway, so that's how I thought it was Kane, just Kane then.
The next, so it's 1 to half points. The next question is worth 1.5 points. No, it's not. It's just worth half a point. No, oh shit. 1 point. Who was the Undertaker's first manager?
I spit in the faces of people who don't want to cool.
Richard?
Was it Bruce Pritchard?
Oh.
You need to be very specific.
Oh, I need to say his actual name at the time.
Aye.
All right, okay. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. It was Brother Love.
Right, so that's I'm going to have to do a half point here. I'm being as fair and as harsh as I possibly can. Now this is for the In Your House fans in the room. Shout out to Jean-Pierre Lafitte, everybody. So it's 1.5 points to a half point to Barry. I'm going to lose score very quickly here. At which event did The Undertaker finally regain the remnants of the urn?
Oh. Right.
I spit in my face at people who don't want to be cool.
Ricardo?
Do you need... Sorry?
On you go.
Do you need the name of the pay-per-view?
Aye.
So like, you know how
a question.
no, but you know how it went In Your House 1 and 2, but it was 14.
Right, okay. Let me double check what that one is.
Is it Revenge of Taker?
In Your House. Oh, fuck's sake, Google. No, it wasn't that one.
It's me, it's B-A-Z.
B-A-Z?
I don't know if it's the right number, but actually, funnily enough, you said 14. I was thinking 15, but was the name of it A Cold Day in Hell, by any chance?
It was not that one either.
No.
So do you want some multiple choice?
No, why not?
Right, okay, give me a wee moment here. I've made an asset as well because the other multiple choice ones aren't in your house, so I need to think of a few more. Right.
Just flying a couple of random ones.
I know, I'm trying to remember them. Right.
In Your House 1, In Your House 2, all the actual ones.
Right, so the four options: In Your House International Incident, In Your House Mind Games, In Your House Seasons Beatings, and In Your House Rage in the Cage.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Rage in the Cage?
Incorrect.
B-A-Z. It's B-A-Z.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the Mind Games, sorry.
It was wrong again. It was In Your House Seasons Beatings.
I've never even heard that one. What one's that?
That's the one that featured a grisly encounter between Bret Hart and British Bulldog.
What was it called?
Seasons Beatings.
Seasons beatings.
A December number.
I don't remember what it was called that at all. But is that the one that Bret and Bulldog in the main event? Aye. Alright, I didn't know it was called that.
Right. What question are we on? 5?
I've only got a half point, I'm sure.
And you've got 1.5, Ricky. Yes.
Yep.
Right. We're going to say this is.
Then.
There was 2 incorrect, I think. I don't know what's going on anymore. I've lost the will. Right. Next question. Out of the 5 Buried Alive matches, how many has Taker won? God, you claim to be Undertaker fans and you fucking can't remember a thing.
I know, but I'm going to be honest. I don't know if he's actually.
I'm actually quite shocked. Now I'm going back on it, I think actually it is me. It's BAZ. Is it actually none?
Incorrect.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. 1.
Oh, also incorrect.
Is it?
Really? He lost to Kane. He lost to Vince. Should have lost to Mankind.
Did you not have one with it? Aye. So I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. 2.
Aye. That's you up to 2.5. One of them was a tag match, was it not?
With The Rock.
The one where
Steve Austin.
the Big Show fucking launched Mankind like a wet cum sock.
Oh, that was in a SmackDown or something, wasn't it?
I know. Number 6. Who did he defeat to win his? Who did he Jean-Pierre Lafitte defeat to win his second WWE Championship?
It's me. It's BAZ.
Barry.
Sid.
Big Psycho Sid himself. Aye. We're at 2.5 to 1.5 now. Let me see. Oh. Sorry. Now, I'm going to leave that one out because it's wrong. True or false? True or false? The Boneyard match is Taker's longest...
Fucking what culture, eh?
I know, I'll tell you one in a minute.
Say that again, sorry.
The Boneyard match is Taker's longest WrestleMania bout. True or false?
I spit in the face of it, don't want to be cool.
Ricky?
False.
Correct. 3.5 points. So the question...
Shawn Michaels ones was probably one.
Aye.
See, I think one of the Triple H's went for about fucking 2 hours.
And the Edge Hell in a Cell went on for 5 weeks as well. So the question was, how many Edge and Undertaker?
No, I mean, they never.
What?
I never did at Mania. They fought at SummerSlam.
Aye, at SummerSlam, aye. Right, what's wrong with this question? How many consecutive WrestleManias did he compete at before his absence on the card in 2019? Oh, that's right. Just ignore me. I'm an arsehole.
Before his absence on a card?
Aye, so they took into account that he'd actually not been at WrestleMania 2000. Just ignore me, okay? I made an arse out.
What was it? So, what did you say? Wasn't it WrestleMania 2000?
Aye. It's just, let's move on. It's Thursday already, so let's move on.
So, forgetting that question?
No, you're not getting it. You're not allowed. Number 7.
It was 14, I think, anyway, I'll answer.
Here's a great question. Multiple choice. At which event did Undertaker have a consecutive string of losses between 2002 and 2008? SummerSlam, Unforgiven, No Mercy or Backlash?
Oh, fucking random.
He lost 6 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I spit in the face of who don't be cool. Backlash.
Incorrect. The tension mounts.
One of those.
I know, it's no SummerSlam because he won He beat Batista in a Hell in a Cell, and that was about 2008. What was the other options?
SummerSlam, Unforgiven, No Mercy, or Backlash?
It's BAZ.
Barry?
I'm going to say No Mercy because I remember he beat Lesnar in a Cell.
One of the grisliest matches I've ever seen in a WWE ring. The 2002 No Mercy Hell in a Cell match. Undertaker was so red, I thought I was looking at one of the weird photographs when you get the red eyes.
It's like my eyes, you know.
I know.
It's not as bad, actually. Oh,
yes, correct. It's 2.5 to 3.5 now. You're catching up. We're in question number 8. Let me see. I'm just going through because there was 30 questions and it's a ridiculous amount of questions. So,
pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you. That'll not be edited, is it?
The Brothers of Destruction officially united in 2001 to take down which unstoppable team?
It's BAZ.
Alright.
Was it Stone Cold and Triple H?
That's what I picked, but I was wrong apparently.
Singles.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Ricky?
What year did you say?
01.
So Rocky was going to be my guess.
So that was...
But I'm going to go DDP and Canyon.
Absolutely not.
See when they said 2001 Invasion, I thought they too, but he said Unstoppable Team, and I thought nah.
Did you say Invasion?
No, he said 2001. That was Invasion time. That was a year. But when he said Unstoppable Team, I was thinking that wasn't them.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Yep.
The Dudleys.
Nope. I'm going to give you one more clue, right, and see if you remember this. In 2001, there was an episode of SmackDown that was an Extreme episode. And they had a First Blood match against these two. Undertaker won it by smashing the chair over one of these people's heads.
2001? Jeez,
I remember it vividly because on the same night, Bubba Ray Dudley, Bubba bombed Jeff Hardy off the bloody stage through a stack of tables.
Was it during the Invasion, this?
It was spring, summer of 01, aye.
On SmackDown?
I'll give you a clue. The name has been mentioned by someone when they've been deliberating. One of the people's names has been mentioned.
What, in this quiz so far?
In this question.
Alright, so it's obviously somebody. It is somebody from Invasion in that Moot said.
No.
Oh, wait there.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Ricky.
Rikishi was one of them.
And?
Alright.
Keep going.
And Haku.
Oh. 4.5 to 2.5 now, is that correct?
I wasn't sure I was going to guess anyway, so it's fine.
2 questions left. How many times has The Undertaker pinned Brock Lesnar?
You're going again, Brian, I can't hear you.
Will I sign language it?
Never heard it.
I'm just going to sing a song until you hear me again. La 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 la.
Did you hear him much?
No.
Oh, you're kidding me on, gents. Come on. This is picking me up perfectly. Nothing? I can't even be bothered cutting this out.
It's gone.
It's gone.
4-0. Liverpool.
Right, I'm just going to kid on. These guys are kidding on, they can't hear me. And I'll do the plugs just now until they... he's back now. Aye,
we can hear you now.
Aye, smirks. Let's put the smirks away. How many times has Undertaker pinned Brock Lesnar? In their 2 decades worth of collisions?
It's BAZ.
Barry?
None.
Correct answer. 4.5 to 3.5.
So that's what I was going to say, because he choked him out.
Aye, that's SummerSlam, that's right.
Aye.
And the last question, instead of me doing what do you call it? Instead of me doing... Instead of doing a tiebreaker, I'm going to make... No, I will do a tiebreaker if it comes to it. So it's 4.5 to 3.5. Possibly last question of the night. Which title has the Undertaker not held out of these four? Hardcore, Intercontinental, WCW Tag Team, WWE Undisputed.
It's me, it's BAZ.
Oh.
Barry?
Intercontinental.
Correct. And we're at a tiebreaker here, 4.5 points in the Palladium of Life.
Oh.
The tiebreaker question. Could, after a shock comeback to the roster after several years, could Barry become in pole position for championship material? At the end of which pay-per-view did Undertaker say, "Where to, Stephanie"?
Oh.
So I'm guessing you're both familiar with the event?
Well, yeah. Well, I thought it was a Raw, to be honest with you, if I'm brutally honest. So, no, I'm not familiar. So, I need
It
I can
happened.
picture it, I can visualise everything, but
Same. I spit in the faces of people who don't want to be cool.
Do you? Because you don't sound too sure of
unsure.
it.
I'm not sure at all. No, it's not the one I had in mind. Right, screw it. Going to go for it. Is it Backlash 99?
It is.
brilliant.
Well done. Thanks. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.
I was going to guess St Valentine's Day Massacre, actually, which was also 99. I don't think it was that far away for that either.
I think that
well
was the
done.
night he had Ken Shamrock, and was it not Mankind and Shaw in a Boiler Room brawl?
What, the Backlash?
I think it was.
Was that after the Rock Austin at Mania? Was it?
Aye,
Backlash after that?
The Rock and Austin, the best Rock and Austin match, the one at Backlash 99. And I swear I'll buy that today.
Well, no, the one he screwed the world and went with Vince was probably the best one they had.
It was very good. It was, but
19.
that bit,
Or 17, sorry, 17.
the bit where Shane McMahon was counting for Austin, 1, 2, and then the double middle fingers right in his face. Like you can't teach that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network, where you can get other shows such as Keeping It Strong Style, One Nation Radio, Grown Men Watch This Shit, All Things Elite, and When They Return. No, Grown Men Watch This Shit, When They Return, Get in the Ring, and All Things Elite. You can go to the podcast app of your choice, give us a nice fat 5-star review, get all those algorithms going and get us climbing up the charts so we can reach more faces and ears and eyes and noses. There's information in the show notes for how you can donate to the show if you want to give us a wee bit of pocket money to pay for better equipment, because my microphone stand being held together by magic apparently. Or you can go to manscaped.com, the pioneers of ball trimming. So Suplex is your promo code that you put in there. I'm looking forward to Barry buying one of them shortly. Socialsuplex.com. You can also subscribe to get the podcast sent directly to your email inbox, as well as read columns there. Speaking of columns, my brand extension column on WrestlingHeadlines.com, formerly known as Lords of Pain, will be released tomorrow at some point, as in Thursday. All about The Undertaker. There is a Facebook group called the Wrestling Squared Circle. You can go in there and chat with us as a community, a wholesome bunch. We are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter. Ricky, have I missed anything?
No, I mean, you could ask Barry to pass out his details.
And yes,
So
that's.
people can follow him.
I was coming to that next. If you're wanting a following, Barry.
Aye, damn it. What is my Twitter account? I'm sure it's BazD86.
At BazD86.
At BazD86, yeah. But I'd just like to say, to add to that about the Manscaped, is it, website you mentioned, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say I can recommend it straight away, as sounds the product was that good. I already ordered it, and it's already arrived, as you can see. So, very fast delivery. And I'm just trying to go to town with it shortly. At BazD86, I'm sure it's as simple as that. I could probably just confirm it just now for you.
As I just checked.
Yeah, it is. I thought there was an underscore somewhere. That was my doubt there, but no, it's at BazD86. Follow me, I'll follow you.
Follow. Right. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Good night and God bless.
Take care, folks.
Pleasure. Take
Don't
care,
repeat the
guys.
files.
Stay safe. Stay home.
Fuck David Starr, fuck Joey Ryan, fuck Jordan. I could be here all night. Fuck them all. Fuck wrestling.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.